they drifting on the beat.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of TalkNSupes. I'm Ed from Ways of the Sith, and with me today is my co-host.
Ande, what's going on?
See, now we got it in a rhythm, but we pushed it today to Monday so we could talk about episodes 3 and 4 of Maul. And immediately, what was your first reaction to these two episodes?
This show just continues to enroll in the drama for just so much that's going on in the Star Wars universe. Even that down to like family drama, just lore drama. It's just, there's so much drama, like in every aspect that you look at it. And I'm into it and I love it. And on top of that, like freaking episode 3 is probably my favorite so far out of all the episodes we've seen so far.
You got some of that family stuff that you wanted too. Like you got some of that more family dynamic and a little bit more of that relationship flushed out like you wanted to see. And we did find out that his mom's Imperial.
The drama continues.
Yeah. Do you think she's like? We're gonna talk about like both episodes, but do you think she's on the Imperial Star Cruiser, like coming, like, and that's gonna be more part of the show? It was like her showing up.
I mean, if I was a mom and I found out that there's some shit going on in a city that I know that my husband probably doesn't want me to be a part of, I think I'm going down there because I think so, I want to know. I want to know if my kid has anything to do with that, if my family's safe and whatnot.
And like we talked about in the breakdown, like Riley is a breakout star. Like that whole stadium is cheering, Lawson and Riley and like watching him score the goals. So he is like your Messier or whoever, like your top guy on the soccer field.
I didn't think the lacrosse team that he was on was like the NBA or like the soccer team. Like
at least
I
for
thought
the
he was
planet,
like a part of like some little high school thing. Like this is like a full on stadium that like a football field. I was like, oh damn! But it was also nice seeing more like sports stuff too in the Star Wars universe because we don't get that all the time. So it was cool to know like they do have some type of entertainment. It's not all just like seriousness and lasers.
and something interesting too, Alex and Mac from Children of the Watch actually pointed it out, which I remember it, but like I didn't remember it until they jogged my memory talking about it. But in Phantom Menace, we do see a lacrosse stick in like Anakin's house. Like so like right. I guess it's been involved in Star Wars before. It's just now we're actually like seeing it, and we're seeing like Riley, this star player for the planet of Chanix, I guess, and their team of Badokan. And it looks cool. I love that. I thought that was really cool. And you got to see that immediately Lawson gets pulled away from work and like misses the goal. He hears the crowd, but like misses the whole thing. So that was a little heartbreaking. And then if Mom is coming, I have a feeling like this is when he loses his son. Like his son's gonna want to gravitate towards Mom because Mom now is gonna be here. She's gonna be the hero. And before you know it, like
he is not gonna stand. His whole thing of probably trying to be the dad that can be responsible and watch his kid, it's just gonna go straight down the drain, and he's just gonna look like a piece of shit.
And I love the duality too, because Maul even like talks to him. He's like, "You seem like an honorable man." He's like, "The fact that you didn't call the Empire, you broke Imperial protocol. Like the fact that you're even here talking to me, trying to negotiate before we have this fight." Shows you what type of person Lawson is. And I thought that was great of Maul. Like, look, I'll offer you protection. Nobody's got to get hurt on this planet. I'll watch over and like I'll be your Batman, Commissioner Gordon. And like I'll look over and you just look the other way and let me do what I'm doing. And
this show
doesn't have to bother nobody.
This show continues to play on that whole Gotham theme. As they were in his lair and he was there talking to him like that, the only thing I could think of is when the Robert Pattinson Batman is when he comes into that courtroom area when who was it that died? I think it was for his parents' funeral. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then like the Riddler throws like the car into like the middle of the funeral or whatever. That was the only thing I could think of, because that scenery and just the vibe just gave me that eerie and sinisterness vibe of the Batman and just Gotham City in general. And I
And
don't
I
think this is gonna be the end of us getting this vibe, to be honest. So
Oh
I'm
no,
loving
no,
it.
no, and we're gonna definitely get more. Especially like,
Hmm.
so I love the opening of like Devin getting out and Vario immediately being like, "How did you get out? Get me out! Like I'm hungry!"
Yeah.
And start, but like
Uh-huh.
as soon as so like what we talked about in the breakdown was we essentially thought like the whole thing was a test. Maul kind of having everybody leave the room, let her break out, and we saw in the beginning of this episode that's exactly what it was like. Rook is waiting there for her to break out and just kind of ushers her into the hallway like Maul's waiting for you. And I thought something that was really cool that I didn't hear anybody else talk about like in their breakdown so far. When Maul first initially meets Pre Vizsla in the Clone Wars, Pre Vizsla brings him in and has a tea ceremony, and it's the same tea that Maul
Mm,
has with Devin. So I
right.
thought that
Hmm.
was interesting that like he uses that as like the icebreaker, but he made sure to detach his saber into two parts, and he left the one half in a place that like he knew she could take it, and so like again
Yeah.
testing her a second time now, of like he knew she was going to take the saber at some point. He wanted to see what she was going to do with it, and then like when she does take it and use it, you can tell that he's only fighting her with one hand, his other hand's behind his back, and like it's
On some
effortless for
Dooku
him.
shit, man.
Yeah.
I was like, let me find out, the styles.
Well, there are like different Jedi styles for like the way of fighting, and Hu Yang talks
Hmm.
about it in the Clone Wars, and then talks about it again in Ahsoka. Like there are different stances and forms for like the lightsaber combat. So it's
Yeah.
possible, it's very possible that like Palpatine taught him all of the different forms. So this way he knows, because
Hmm.
literally he's just hand behind the back and just like effortlessly just
Hmm.
sparring with her. And I love
Yeah.
when he turns the lights out and you get that like horror movie feel.
Oh my God, dude. I wrote it in my notes, but I was like, this scene is like very sinisterish, and the
Yeah,
sound design was crazy. Because I'm listening to it here on my HomePod at my TV, and I'm like, yo, I can hear when he's close, and I can hear when he's really far away.
yeah.
That's fucking impressive, and
And you
kudos
see
to
him in the
Star Wars team and
shadows.
Lucasfilm for that.
Yeah, and you see
Yeah.
him like in the shadows of the shot, which just looks incredible. And like the
Hmm.
the horror feel of that. I also don't know, do you like if you watch the episode with the subtitles, Maul's lightsaber is speaking an alien language to her the whole entire time. It's
Mm.
mentioned in the subtitles. It says Maul's lightsaber, alien language, and fucking so like there's a couple moments where like it's talking to her and like feeding off of her. And I don't know if I'm assuming it's
Mm.
Night Sister magic. Like I said to you, like Maul is endowed
Yeah.
with that power from them. So it wouldn't shock me to see like him using some of that Night Sister magic and like the witchcraft. But to
Right.
see that like the lightsaber was the thing talking, I was like, is it the Kyber crystal like talking to her? That's kind of how what I presumed when I saw that.
Yeah, I don't know, but all I know is that scene was really like a masterclass. Um, and on another masterclass, Maul, he is one of the probably the greatest manipulators, and probably is a math has should do a masterclass on
Yeah.
manipulation, because holy shit, like this guy is insane.
Well, like we were saying, like everything he's saying is the truth. It's just from a certain point of view, as like we always say in Star Wars. So it's presented to you to feel like Devin, essentially, like in the moment. Even in the conversation when Eco shows up and him and Devin are about to square off with him, he gives that speech about like, what are you doing? He's like, did they teach you to like hide in tunnels and live like rats? He's like, no. He's like, you
Right.
bow your power between people who are no better than you. You have power. You deserve to be,
Mm.
you know, ruling these people, not like subservient to them or not like cowering in the shadows. And you see the
Hmm.
moment where like the camera pans to Devin and you get her reaction of like she's staring at Maul, but then she takes in what he says and she's just like fuck, you're
Mhm.
right. So like again, you're
Mhm.
seeing as episode by episode goes on, you're seeing like the influence of him on her and her decisions and like where she stands with her master. And I
Mhm.
thought it was gonna happen in this episode, but Iko managed to live. Maul let them both live. Like
Yeah.
he could have had them both, but he didn't. Like,
Mhm.
and if you notice, like during the fight, he keeps pushing Devin away. Like he
Mhm.
didn't even want to fuck with her. He wanted to test
Mhm.
Iko, and he fucked up
Mhm.
Iko. I don't know, like I guess from the kick to the stomach or whatever. Like
Mhm.
Iko's like
Yeah, because it was
wounded at the
limping
end of the
afterwards.
episode. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm
Yeah.
assuming when the Inquisitors show up next week, that Iko's probably gonna die.
No, you took the words right out of my mouth, bro. I keep saying to myself, the only way that Devin is gonna switch is if Jockey dies, and if he doesn't die, then that's the only thing that's keeping her so close to
Yeah,
staying, not becoming a Sith.
yeah.
So going to the dark side, and that's her loyalty is to Jockey, and she has a real emotional attach to him. And that's the only thing that's making her, I feel like, not want to do that. But deep inside, like we said last in the breakdown, she has a tick, and Maul is pushing that shit every time he gets a chance to. And it's only a matter of time where she's just like, you know what, put her hands in the air and just embrace the darkness.
But see, I don't even think it's going to be that like just a matter of time. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's we're going to see it as the episodes go on. Like we've already seen the
Mm-hmm.
cracks, and we've already seen her taking these teachings and these things that Maul's saying, and like the influence is taking a hold of her. And I think what
Yeah.
it's going to come down to is more than likely because as we end the second episode this week, the Imperial Star Cruiser is pulling in over the city, and everybody in the city gets alerted. Everybody in the city like realizes they're fucked when they see the Star Cruiser
Mm-hmm.
over the top. Next week we're definitely getting the Inquisitors, Marok and the Crow. They're going to be the two Inquisitors in this series. We know Marok later on is just a Night Sister magic when he's working for Morgan Elsbeth in Ahsoka. So I'm assuming Marok's gonna actually die in this show. Like we're gonna watch Maul, and we know from like the trailers that Devin and Maul are gonna be fighting the both of them on like a train. So
Mm-hmm.
my guess is Eco's probably gonna get killed by the Inquisitors, and then that's gonna lead to Devin, you know, actually succumbing. And like her rage
Mm-hmm.
from her master getting killed is what's going to tip the scale. And then the
Right.
fact
Mm-hmm.
of now with her master dead and the Inquisitors here and the Imperial presence on Janix, they're going to have to leave. They're going to have to get out of here. So I think it's going to leave her with no other choice but to go with Maul. And then, you know, it's going to progress. And I think that's I like the slow build. I like the fact that like it didn't just happen right away where like they killed her master off in the first couple episodes and then she automatically just jumped and turned. I'm liking the slower build for Devin's character, and I love Gideon Adlon in this role. Like she is fantastic playing Devin. I relate to Devin. I'm like I know she's our viewpoint character for
Mm-hmm.
the show, but
Yeah.
you know, you're as an audience member, you're listening to the speeches Maul's giving too and the things he's saying, and like we've been
Mm-hmm.
saying on this show, you
Mm-hmm.
he's out of line, but he's right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
just
Yeah.
it's really cool to see.
Yeah, she's going to. I feel like the only way she is gonna get to that dark side, or just kind of like side with Maul, is it's just gonna be organically, and it's just gonna be just off of just the will of him, just continually to just keep talking to her about the stuff that he's saying and whatnot, and it's just gonna fall in line. But what I also wanted to say is, yeah, we did talk about. I texted you this morning about Two Boots and him being the snitch.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I guess it is his protocol.
Yep.
But if I feel like he's conscious enough to have to be able to whatever. If he restarted him or started him up again, to be like, oh nope, I gotta call the Empire again. So you still are a snitch to me, because why did you still make the choice to do that?
But
Because
he
you're a
he
conscious
says it
robot.
he says it to Lawson earlier in the episode though. He said old protocol would have been to call the Jedi. They would have sent a Jedi here and the Jedi would have dealt with it. And that's not the
Yeah.
protocol anymore because the Jedi don't exist,
Hmm.
and that's what Lawson tells him. So like That's what it is. It's just they're droids. That's their programming. They're programmed to do certain things, and like that's the protocol. So like Lawson kept prolonging it for as long as he could. His superior officer even jumped in and tried to prolong it by putting him on desk duty. But immediately
Oh yeah.
once he found out that like they were going to hunt Maul, his first instinct was like, all right, now we got to go call the Empire. And I think part of it stems from not only him following protocol, but the fact that he's worried about Lawson. He doesn't want to see anything happen to Lawson. And like he knows that they're dealing with somebody who's way out of their league. Like none of them can take Maul.
Mm-hmm.
It's not happening. And now the only people who are capable of maybe taking Maul are about to show up. And I can't wait for next week's episodes because for me,
Mm-hmm.
those of you guys that follow my YouTube channel, you know the Inquisitors are my favorite. I've made pretty much every single one of them that we haven't gotten in Star Wars Black Series. Like I've made customs of all of them. I have the complete lineup of all of them. They are my
Mm-hmm.
favorite characters in Star Wars. I love Rise of the Red Blade, which is a fantastic book if you want to check it out. All about an Inquisitor named Iskat and her point of view. So for me, anytime I get more Inquisitor stories, more of that
Mm-hmm.
background flushed out, I'm here for it. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
very excited to see the Crow again because we only got to see him for a split second in Tales of the Jedi, where Ahsoka kills him. He's the one that Ahsoka duels on the plantation and kills him fairly quick. My
Mm-hmm.
fan theory, okay? So when you watch Clone Wars, there's the Gathering episodes. I don't know if you remember this off the top of your head, but it's the Ahsoka leading a group of kid Jedi to go get their Kyber crystals, and it's like broken up over like 3 or 4 episodes. It's a little arc called the Gathering. There's a kid named Petra in those episodes who is like the main antagonist for those stories, and
Mm-hmm.
he's kind of like a little shit kid. He causes a lot of problems. He thinks he's better than like all the other kids that are on this little trip, but then by the end he ends up like reining himself in. I've had this theory that Petra is the Crow. Because what
Mm-hmm.
happens, for those of you guys that don't know, the Inquisitors are former Jedi. They're all former Jedi
Mm-hmm.
students and Padawans that basically, when Order 66 happens, Palpatine had like a file saved of all of these Jedi who were disgruntled and basically had issues or weren't really about the teachings of the Jedi. So Palpatine had all these students scouted and these different Jedi on this list. So when Order 66 takes place, he basically gives all of these students a chance. Like basically, you can either join us or you can die. And a few of
Mm-hmm.
them join, and then those Inquisitors were basically molded by Vader. Vader cuts off a bunch of their arms, cuts off legs, hands, everything, and like fucks up these kids. So they
Mm-hmm.
basically become the Inquisitors, and they're the ones we've seen,
Okay.
throughout the whole entire thing. But my fan theory is that Petra is the Crow Inquisitor because when he sees Ahsoka later on before Ahsoka kills him, he says like the Padawan, oh, you live, like he knows her, like they've had a personal
Mm-hmm.
relationship. So I always like reckless speculation. That was always my speculation that like that's who was behind the mask.
Yeah.
It's Petra. Marak, we don't know who Marak is either, but we do know Clancy Brown will be voicing the Crow. He voiced him in Tales, so we're reuniting the voice of Savage Press, who was Maul's brother, on the Maul show again, which I think is great. And AJ Lacasio, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that last name correctly, but he plays Gambit on Xmen '97. He's voicing
Mm.
Marak. So we're gonna get to see
Okay.
2 incredible voice actors, join this cast, which is already great, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. I also think because it sounded like him was the old police officer that you mentioned that was with Two Boots. I think that's Don Cheeto if I stand corrected because it sounded just like him.
I don't think so. I didn't see
Oh
him
man, this
listed.
sounds so much like him. I wish I had to look
It
that up, but I
so
swear it sounded just
so
like him.
sometimes in these animated shows they emulate characters. Even one of the droids from like Star Wars Rebels, you would think it's Alan Rickman, but it's not. It's somebody doing like an Alan Rickman impression. So sometimes that,
Hmm.
that happens on the Star Wars animated show. So like you always have to check the cast list, but it's definitely not Don Cheadle. I would think like it would have came out that he was part of
He
this
was the guy,
cast.
right? Dude, it sounded just like him. I'm like, whoa, is that Don Cheeto? Like,
Yeah, and then the two boots
But,
thing is going to be interesting, especially because like at the end he's like, "I hope you can forgive me," and then everybody's thing beeps off and they're fucked, and like they know it.
yeah.
But I really do. I hope Lawson's wife is on that Star Destroyer. I would love if she's like a character we already know. Like for me,
Mm,
so there's a character from the books, Sloane. She's a commander in the Imperial officers. She becomes like a very important character after the Battle of Endor. I would love if like somehow, some way we could get Sloane in here, or if it's what's her name from Lethal, like an Imperial officer we kind of already know or have seen before. I think that would be a cool like oh shit moment. That's her husband or
hmm
that's her ex. I don't know. We'll
Yeah.
see what happens, but I think it would be a
I
fun like connection to be like, oh shit, that's who that is.
that would be crazy. Oh, I also didn't realize that Lawson works for like that same like security department or whatever as like the dude from Andor that was
Well, the
like kind of
IS,
like
yeah, the ISB. It's
hmm
basically so he's a cop on the planet, but the ISB is the organization from the Imperial side that basically looks
hmm
into all this. So they're the ones that they had to contact and get in. Sorry, I'm trying to plug my charger in real quick on my computer.
Oh, you're good.
But
You're good. You're good. I
yeah,
didn't
they're
realize.
they're the ones who basically like investigate all of the crimes and deal with all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. When I realized, I was like, oh great, these guys is just predictable. But love
they usually
I loved
they
what happened to him.
they usually wear the white uniforms. That's how like you
Hmm
can dictate ISB from Imperial because the Imperials wear the gray or the black, and then ISB wears the white. So yeah, they're pretty much like your beat cops. They're they're your patrol. They're the people who like gather the information and then they go after the targets pretty much.
Yeah, and also just the way how things are going and how Maul is just starting to dominate things. The way how he freaking did the Pikes dirty and played and
Oh
played
yeah, we could talk
various
about
too
Krim.
was
Krim,
was
that
crazy.
whole scene with Krim was awesome. Having
Mhm.
Scorn pretend to be him, and I love like you could tell it was Scorn immediately because of the way he was swinging the lightsaber when he was coming off the ship. He was just kind of
Yeah,
flailing it like a blunt instrument
like
rather than like
yeah,
with
like a
grace like
baseball bat or
Maul.
something.
So like you knew it was Scorn immediately, and then the setup with Vario, make sure you tell him it was me, and Vario like sets up the whole thing, walks in. Who I'm really loving the character like of him. Like I hope
Very yeah.
he continues to be part of the series going forward because he has become a lot of fun, and the Joe Pesci thing is really growing on me.
Yeah.
But I love
Yeah.
the setup of like and it's similar to Last Jedi. Like the way Kylo Ren
hmm
kills Snoke is when he pulls the saber off the thing, cuts Snoke
Right.
in half.
hmm
Maul did the same
hmm
thing, except Maul makes Krim do it to himself. So like Krim's holding the
hmm
lightsaber in his hand, and Maul basically like spins his whole hand around to make him cut himself in half. Which I was just like, once I saw that, I was like, "Yep, here we fucking go." And I love how he stands over.
Absolute cinema, straight up.
He stands over him at the end and then gives him the speech after the fact. Like Krim's already dead, cut in half, and then he's like,
hmm
"Just so you know, anybody who
Yeah.
wronged me, this is what fucking happens to you." And like I was sitting here like
Yo.
it was 5 o'clock in the morning. I was watching these episodes, and I'm literally like in my bedroom, like fuck yeah, like yes. I love
That's
that. I
fire.
was like, that's how you
Uh-huh.
do it, Maul.
Yeah, he actually does something similar when he was versing Devin and Master Jockey because like he looks at what's her name? When he looks at Devin and he's telling her like how he saved her and stuff, he like puts his lightsaber like right in her face and
Yeah,
like could have just fucking just sliced her head off,
but he
but
wasn't
then he
gonna
just
hurt
like
her.
puts
Yeah.
it. I know he wasn't, but I'm just saying like he has every opportunity to
Hmm.
kill these them two and her if she even wanted to, but
Yeah.
and he just puts it away just out of fear for to make them have fear of him, and
And
that shit was just great.
and that's what makes me believe even more that the Inquisitors are going to be the one to kill him because I think Maul knows like if he's the one to hurt Eco that Devin's not going to follow at that point. Devin's just going to want to kill
Hmm
him. So I think he knows that, like, that's why he let them both get away. That's why he let him live, because he knows that, if the Inquisitors come and the Inquisitors do it, then now he can use that to his advantage. And I love Spybot at the end being like, "Oh, we got a problem," and like when he sees
He's
that,
like disappear, and then
yeah.
throws all the smoke on them. I thought that
There's
was funny. That was
there's
cool.
also a really cool moment when Maul has the tea ceremony with Devin. She's like, "You're a murderer," and he's like, "We all do what we got to do," pretty much. Like, I love that line too, and just Sam's performance on this show is just incredible. Again, I say it every
Mhm.
time we talk about this show. I am so happy for him that he gets to have this success, and hopefully this show can just continue, because I'm here for it. I,
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. I cannot wait for next week, the Inquisitor showing up, and
Mhm.
hopefully our boy Vader coming
Yo,
before you know
it's
it.
coming. The way how things are playing out, it just feels like no, it would be an injustice if that doesn't happen at this
Well, we
point.
did see in the one trailer that Marok kneels in front of his hollow and basically tells him, like, we found the shadow, we found Maul. And so
Mhm.
at that point, Vader's going to know that Maul's there. It's only a matter of time, but I'm wondering if they're going to hold off on that confrontation until Maul makes his play for Palpatine, because he did tell Rook, like, ultimately my goal is to forge Devin into a weapon, and then we're going after Sidious. And so I'm wondering, like, if that's going to be Maul's mistake. He's not going to account for Vader, maybe doesn't realize, like, how powerful Vader is. And then when they go
Mhm.
to confront Sidious is when Vader's, like, already there, ready to go. And, like, I could see that scenario too. And maybe that's, like, where the divide happens from Devin and Maul. Because I think at some point there's going to be a split from them, whether I hope it's not Devin dying, because I want to see her character progress and see where she is later on and things. So I hope there's, like, either some scenario where, like, they end up getting separated, or like a disagreement between the two of them that leads to them being separated, rather than, like, just killing her off and then leaving Maul back to square one again.
Right, right.
And like
Yeah.
this, there's still so much
Go
they
ahead.
have to fill in from
Mhm.
Solo, and like that's still a few years away from the point that we're in now. So like I hope that this show just can continue on. And I'm not
Mhm.
sure, like, if season by
I know
season
we
we're
have
gonna.
a second season, but
Yeah,
I
for
mean,
sure. And it's rumored that, like, 3 seasons is what they planned for this show originally. That, like, three was always the goal. But
uh-huh.
with these ratings and with this success, and this many people talking about it and loving it, there's no shot that they don't get that third season. I'm just
Yeah.
wondering, like, all right, now when we do season two, is there going to be a time jump of like 5 to 10 years? Because we have like 15 years, I think, to play with in total from, like, the timeline. So, like,
Mm.
if they're just planning 3 seasons, do we take little time jumps to, like, get us to the next point of the story? Because ultimately, we have to see
Right.
how he gets stranded on Malachor. Like, for when we
Mhm.
see him in Rebels, ideally that's where I would like this show to get up to. Like, I would love them to
Mhm.
progress this all the way, like, literally until the time we see him in Rebels. This way we have a complete story of Maul. There's nothing left for us to,
Mhm.
like, fill in the blanks. Maul did, though, he fills in a little bit of the blank. Like, so we found out that at the end of the Clone Wars, Maul came to the Pikes and came to Krem. So after we saw, like, him escape the ship with Ahsoka, he went right to the Pikes and basically told Krem, like, I need protection, I need a place to lay low for a little bit. And that's when Krem tried to kill him, and then that's what sparked all of this. So, like, that was
Mhm.
something we didn't know happened and took place, but, thanks to Maul filling us in, it did. So, like,
Yeah.
little stuff like that is fine. I'm fine with, like, little tidbits if you just want to, like, catch us up that way. But I would ideally like this show to run all the way until Star Wars Rebels, and just fill in the whole story. Give us Kira, give us the whole scoop of everything, and then go from there.
Because Rebels will take you straight to Solo, right?
Well, no, Solo would take place before Star Wars Rebels. So ideally,
Okay.
like, season two would be him, like, depending on how the rest of this season goes. He's still got Black Sun to deal with, which is one of the other syndicates. Zizor is the leader there, but as far as I know, Zizor was, like, still loyal to Maul. So he's got them,
Hmm.
and then Black Sun, Crimson Dawn is the other one that like we see in Solo. Dryden Voss is the one who is the figurehead of them, but ultimately Maul is the one running them. We find out at the end of Solo. That's the final scene. So
Hmm.
at some point, we're going to see him become the syndicate leader there. Amelia Clark's character from Solo eventually has to go be his apprentice at some point, because then, as we see in the comics, Crimson Empire takes place years later, like during the original trilogy, and Kira's still alive, enacting Maul's plan, and like Maul dies. So it's not really clear. I think it's a give or take about a year before New Hope, Maul gets killed. Um,
Hmm.
I always look at the first time we see Obi-Wan Kenobi a little bit differently ever since I watched Twin Sons, because my head canon is Kenobi just got done burying Maul when he finds Luke in the desert from the Tuskens. And like, so when
Hmm.
that's just my head canon. I know that's not like
Right,
how it
right.
tracks time wise, but after seeing Twin Sons and seeing how, he takes care of Maul and then goes to bury Maul and like gives him a resting place, I just always like take that as like, oh, he just buried Maul and now he found Luke in the desert, and like here's it all coming together. But I want to say there is like a year time gap before Maul dies and then New Hope starts,
Hmm.
because all that stuff still plays out with Ezra and Thrawn. So I want to say that's like at least 6 months to a year before New Hope that Maul ends up getting killed. So I know there's a lot of people clamoring for like, can we get him back again in live action? And like, I don't know if there's going to be
Maul?
that opportunity. Like, I don't know if you can bring him back again.
Why?
I mean, with the Night Sister magic, there's a possibility, I guess, that you could find
Yeah.
a way to bring him back. You brought Ventress back, and Ventress had like one of the best deaths in Star Wars, and they still brought her back. So
Hmm.
that one for me is still a little like, I don't know if you maybe should have did that, unless she's another character though that I really do hope we get to see in this show at some point, because Maul and Ventress really didn't have a lot of interaction in Clone Wars. So to see them both kind of be the last, of Dathomir, it would be cool to see her, pop up in this at some point.
Right, right. Yeah, it's a
So
good episode. I really can't wait for next week.
yeah, no, I'm hyped. I know you've been watching Invincible. You want to catch
Okay.
us up and talk about that?
So yeah, Invincible right now has been pretty great. I mean, there's a big discussion going around about this year's animation to it. I don't really like. I'm not one of those people who are on board with that, because if based off of what we just saw this last episode, is something that Invincible fans have been waiting to see anyways. He right now just finished versing Conquest for the second time, and for whatever reason, Cecil, the guy who's like the government in charge of all these superheroes, decide to, just like, imagine if McFury put Thanos in a normal jail and was like, "Oh, we'll just keep him under surveillance. He won't get out." Like, that's not gonna happen. He's breaking out and he's coming to kill the person who put him in, which was Invincible. So, yeah, they just fought again, and pretty much Mark Invincible ended up killing him to death. Choking him to death, I should say. And the gruesome like fatalities that they do in this episode was just fucking mind blowing. Conquest ripping out his guts like as if he was digging for a charger in a fucking loose draw. Like, that shit was crazy. And then we get like Oliver, always his brother, always trying to come in and like say like, "Oh, I'll take care of my brother, I'll save my brother," but he's the first one to always have somebody save him. And I guess you get an A for effort or whatever, but nah, dude, like, just don't even butt in on this. just
So
just
it's
stay out of this. Like, just stay on the lookout. We don't need your help. I promise you, Oliver. Thank you, but no thank you.
So it's been a
uh
decent season so far, because I'm not. I tried watching one of the episodes the other day and I turned it off. So I still
yeah.
like am not on board with this. I just can't get into it.
No, it's amazing. It's amazing. I love it. Are you watching from the first episode, like season one?
Yeah, I started. I put on
Uh-huh.
season one, and I like literally turned it off like 20 minutes into it.
I can get why you feel like that. I get like that with shows too, especially when they're so deep into a season, and it's like you want to kind of catch up to the parts that everybody
I
else is,
just
and it's just like,
my whole thing
I know what you
is
mean.
my whole thing is like I have no attachment to the character. I never read the comic of it, so
No,
like
same. I
for me,
started
it's
with
just
just the
like
shows.
I don't really care what happens to this
Hmm.
guy one way or another.
Hmm.
And I just kind of was like, all right, I'm turning this off. Like I just couldn't. I wanted to catch up to like try to be able to cover it, but I
Hmm.
just yeah.
Well, I would say if you give it a second chance, just get up to the part where um he starts to feel like he can challenge his dad, and him and his dad start
Yeah,
going at
Omni
it.
Man and doing that whole story. I've seen clips of that, like in the fight and
Hmm.
stuff like that. But
Because that build up to that is what really like solidified the show for me and made me like want to get into it. And then you start learning more about the dad and his background and other characters, and it's just because it goes into a freaking tornado.
yeah,
But
I think
oh.
too the fact that it's like a big multiverse thing for me, like I'm done with all that shit.
Hmm.
I don't want to see no more like multiverse stuff for a long time after
Hmm.
Doomsday and Secret Wars. Like I'm good on all of
Well,
it.
it's not a multiverse in like in that case. It's more so
It's
like
just like
well,
multiple
I know.
versions of the same character and different timelines and different this and that. Like that's what for me, like once you get into all that, I'm good. Like
Mhm.
I'm tapping out. Sorry.
I hear you. Thank you, Marvel, for tapping us out in the fucking multiverse stuff. But
But
I would
how
say
many
give it a second
episodes
chance.
are left now before this like totally wraps up?
I think we have. I think after the last time I said there was one more, but I really think this time there's one more
Okay.
because I mean the way how this has to end. I mean, you're gonna give me another episode after this? Like, it doesn't make sense. But
Well, next week you can give us
uh,
your thoughts on the finale and overall what
yeah.
you thought of the show.
Hmm.
Another thing that like I watched and you didn't is The Boys.
Yes.
Episodes one
Hmm.
and two came out. I think three and four are dropped either today or tomorrow, something like that. But this show was so. Carl Urban had said that this season was all gas, no breaks, like from the first episode, and he did not lie whatsoever. Um, there's so many parallels to what's going on currently in the world, and it's it's not funny because when you're watching it, you're literally just like nodding your head along with it. Like, yeah, this is what's going on currently, and this is what we're experiencing. And as ridiculous as it appears in the TV show, it's actually happening for real. And I think that's the crazy part. Watching this show is like everything in these first two episodes is all stuff that's like currently going on now. And so there's a huge death at the end of episode one. It shocked the living hell out of me. And
Hmm.
episode two, they kind of tease you that there's another huge death, but it turns out that the character is still alive. And yeah, they're developing the virus. They're getting ready to they're perfecting the virus, testing it on different soups to see if they can kill them and see if they can eventually kill Homelander. But yeah, this I have a feeling a lot more people are gonna die. I nobody's off limits. All the main characters are like in play for this, so I think it's gonna be really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched the spin-off show of this,
Gen V,
the
yeah,
one Gen V,
they
yeah.
they
Hmm.
were have been name dropped so far because this season takes place after the finale of Gen V season two. So
Hmm.
Marie and her group of friends are off. They're operating as like a Starlighter cell right now while this season is currently taking place. So they're involved, but the events have, things have progressed now since then.
So like, okay, but are they prominent in the show? Like, are they in the
They
show?
haven't popped up yet, no, because they're
Oh, okay.
like I said, this took place after the Gen V finale, so they're not
Hmm.
really part of this cast. I don't know if they're gonna. I would hope that they cameo at some point, especially if this is like the finale for the boys. I don't know.
Hmm.
There was still no word if Gen V got a season three, so I'm not sure if they're coming back. I hope they do because I love the first two seasons of that show. I think it's a lot of fun,
Hmm.
and I would like to see more stuff in the boys universe. I know Diego Luna was talking about doing a Boys Mexico show that was supposed to take place and kind of be like Narcos mixed with the boys. And
Wow,
I haven't heard any
that's
more
insane.
news on this. So like it would basically just be like South America's version of Vought and like their extension and how it took place there, because we've seen in like the boys universe that like all their origins come from World War and like the Nazis and all of that stuff. So it would have been interesting to see it like presented from a different country, like a Hispanic culture, and seeing like how
Hmm.
they came up or how Vought came to them or whatever the case may be.
Okay.
I don't know if we're going to get that. Like I said, I've heard nothing else about that show since like a couple years ago, so I'm not sure if it's actually happening. I do know we're getting the Soldier Boy and
I
Stormfront
was
though
to say
spinoff.
Soldier
Yeah.
Boy when I heard. Yeah,
So
nice.
Daredevil episodes 4 and 5 dropped.
Ooh.
What are I so we did talk about Vanessa dying and predicted that she probably would end up getting killed, and
Hmm.
long behold that episode ends with her on the ground in the boxing ring, and I
Hmm.
was just like, here we fucking
Hmm.
go, because now
Yeah.
Kingpin's a mad dog off the leash,
Right. Yeah.
and
Now he
Bullseye's the one he
has
wants.
something. And now he exactly, and now he has something that he wants, and he's basically has nobody to tell him what to do with Vanessa being dead, supposedly.
Well,
Now I
the
don't know.
governor makes that clear. The governor basically says, as
Hmm.
long as you're around to rein him in, I'm cool with this. But now
Hmm.
she's not around. So I think the governor's going to be switching her tune real quick.
Yeah. But I also don't think that she's dead yet. She
Oh,
may just be like on a hospital bed or something like that.
she
She
dead.
could recover. I don't know. Like anything can
Nah.
happen.
You
I
got to
don't know
kill
if she's
her.
actually dead.
You got to kill her.
I don't know if she's actually
It
dead.
it doesn't make sense to keep her around. Like you have to kill her in order to have Kingpin lose his shit and go off the deep
Well, I
end.
mean, well, right. He could still lose his shit, but
Mm.
she's just not there to really hold him back. Like
Nah, you
I
need
don't
her
see that.
dead. And from what it looked like, she's dead. She was bleeding out from the head, with a piece of glass stuck in the side of her temple. So she's pretty dead, I think. She wasn't moving. Her eyes were wide open. Like she
Yeah.
was pretty much gone. Um,
Yo, thinking about that too, Bullseye in the beginning of this freaking episode was insane.
so is it bad that I only care about the show when he's on it? Like otherwise I could care less about this show. Like I
Hmm.
want to like this show so much more than I do, honestly. Like
Hmm.
I watch it and I'm like, all right, yeah. And I'm watching people like online get so hyped about this show, and I just don't have
Hmm.
that same feeling. And I don't know what it is, what the disconnect is, but for me, like
Hmm.
I'm cool with all the Karen shit. I don't really care when she's on screen. I'm cool with fucking, Matt Murdock dancing around and playing dress up and being pretending to be a cop and doing all of that shit just kind of tunes me out. But every time Bullseye comes on screen or every time he's involved in something, I'm immediately tuned back in and like I need to see what he's gonna do. And to me, that's a bad thing when like your villain is overshadowing the rest of your cast. And to
I
me,
mean,
like that's my problem with the show.
not necessarily, because like in the same way of the Star Wars sense, like people like the Sith more than they do like the Jedi. So I mean, if you like him, or I mean, he's a badass villain, and plus what he does, his relationship with him and Bullseye, which that fight was crazy, but there was an even crazier part. Um, it is something that fans love to see and get excited about. So I mean, you being more excited for him, I mean, just shows your fandom for I guess villainish characters.
But I'm not even like a big Bullseye fan in the comic books. Like I could take
Mhm.
him or leave him in a comic book. It's kind of like in the comics, he's very one note where it's just like, oh, he's the guy that can't miss. And like, that's it.
Mhm.
They flushed out such a great character. The actor that portrays him on this show is so good. There's, there's so many aspects of it where like he is the most interesting character on this show to me. Like his storyline is the most interesting, the redemption arc of him trying to live a normal life, but then Matt comes and like fucks that up for him. Like little things like that like are making me way more interested in him and his storyline than anything else going on in this show. And the other person I'm really more interested in too is Gandolfini and his girlfriend. Like that storyline is like Bullseye's my A storyline and Gandolfini's my B storyline. Otherwise, like whatever else goes on in this show, I don't really care. Like I'm just like, all right, cool, whatever. Yep, just
Hmm.
get me to Bullseye or get me more of the Gandolfini story, whatever.
I think the other fact too, to put into perspective, is that we never really got a full on Bullseye like storyline or anything about him in live action, other than like what we've seen from the movie and like what we've seen from the
Mm-hmm.
Netflix stuff. So like it's just more to the character that we're seeing on screen to get closer with them and understand
But
them more.
they
So I
specifically
mean,
built this version of the character. Like in the original Netflix series,
right.
we had the
Hmm.
whole episode that was focused on him as a child all the way till now, and told his whole story of him being a serial killer and all of this shit. Like that's way more interesting than all of this stupid shit and Karen putting on all these fucking wigs. Like I don't care.
Hmm.
Like just move that along, and then like we can talk about it. We know they're all going to survive this season. They're all going to be part of season 2 because Mike Coulter keeps taking pictures and leaking shit online. Like, what the fuck are you doing? 2 weeks, like 3 weeks ago, I listened to this guy on Michael Rosenbaum's podcast, and he was talking about how, like, I don't know if I'm going to come back and play Luke Cage. I'm getting a little old and da 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 da. And 3 weeks later, you're posting spoilers on your Instagram page. Like, Kevin
Like
Feige is
pure,
is coming for you, bro. Like, what are you
yeah.
doing? Like, so skip ahead 20 seconds if you don't want to know like the spoiler, but he posted a picture. You know, we knew that Iron Fist and Luke Cage were
Mm.
on the set for season 3 that's filming currently, but he posted a picture with Matt Murdock in a prison suit. Like Matt's in the prison jumper. So you theoretically
Oh, I
could
didn't
have,
see that pitching.
yeah, there's a picture of him, Jessica Jones, and his arm around Matt Murdock, and Matt's got an orange prison jumper on. And it's like, oh, coincidentally, the hand is in a prison in Spider-Man. So do we think it's Matt Murdock, like we've kept saying, that's like in Spider-Man? More than likely. Like that
Hmm.
kind of is now where you're leading to this. And like, it's just like, man, all right, cool. Like he's in the gold suit, he's doing all of this stuff, and like it's just, I don't know, for me it's a little, you're doing too much, man. You need to
Yeah,
chill out.
no, I feel you on that. Like I did see the leak of just him in like UK colors and all like suited up and stuff. So my mind basically went straight to, okay, are they doing the whole thing with him being the mayor? And
He's running the club.
yeah, oh, he's running a club. So like
Yeah,
the
that's how Luke
last
Cage
episode.
ended. He took over his brother's club, and that's was the, I forget what show it was, but we saw his nightclub in one of the Echo, I think it was, or maybe it was season 1 of Daredevil. You do see a front shot of like the club, but so yeah, he's in the gold suit because he's running the club.
Okay. Well, I was also thinking because I know like in the beginning of Daredevil, this the new season that came, the new episode that came out, when they give you the code for like the comic books that are like inspired by this, they show you Daredevil Reign, which is like where like I think that's the one where he, well, it's the
Devil's
one with
Reign.
Fist is, yeah, Devil's Reign. It's the one with Fist is the mayor, but I also think Luke Cage is in that as well, and he
Well,
ends
yeah,
up
Luke
becoming a.
Luke becomes
Mhm.
mayor at the end of that
Mhm.
storyline, and I think
Right.
is
Hmm.
still currently mayor in New York. Last time I checked, at least for Spider-Man Gang War, he was still mayor. I don't really know. I don't read a lot of Heroes for Hire shit, so
Yeah.
I'm not caught up on like everything
Yeah.
for them. But yeah, this
Well, I seen that, so that's what made me put two and two together. I was like, "Yo, dude, you're bugging, bro. Like,
and like
Why would you? The season's not even over yet. Like, that's
yeah,
you're
and
already like two
for
and
for
three."
me that was the big thing. It's just like, bro, you're literally filming this season right now. Why post these photos? Like, if people are still
Hmm.
watching this. Like, you could have waited. You could have waited till there was like an official announcement from Marvel that you guys are back. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's unfortunate. Like, I get it, but at the same time,
Hmm.
it's just like, all right. But for me, again, like, does Luke Cage and Iron Fist showing up in season 3 make me more excited for this show? Not really. Like, it's
Personally,
just
yes. Let's take
cool.
out
We're gonna
Iron
get the
Fist. Let's
defenders
take out
back,
Iron Fist.
but
I
like,
take out Iron Fist, and we put Luke Cage. I'm cool with that. Or if they, I don't know, maybe this version of Iron Fist learned his lesson, and maybe he is going to be better. But I
Nah,
do
they
really
need to bring
love
back
the
Jessica
character
Henwick.
of Luke Cage. Wait, being by
Yeah,
who? Oh, well, yeah, yeah. Like we said last time with Misty and all that. Yeah.
yeah. I just,
Mm-hmm.
again, I really, and like the next thing we're gonna talk about is the Punisher one shot. Another thing that like, I saw the trailer and just shrugged my shoulders. I was like, all right, cool. Like, all right,
What you
yeah.
did?
I don't. I hate him as Punisher. I'm just gonna put that on the record. Like,
Why?
he's a good actor in other roles I've seen, but him as Punisher is just Shane from Walking Dead yelling all the time and telling people, "I gotta tell you something, Red. I gotta tell you something." The whole entire every time he's on screen, count how many times he says it. I bet you drink every time he says, "I gotta tell you something." Like, it's just, I don't know, man. I don't. I just that was another thing. Like, literally, I watched the trailer and I saw everyone's reaction to the trailer. Like, oh my god, da, 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 da. And I was just like,
hmm
all right, like, cool, whatever. Like, you're gonna
It
give him a
it
rated
just looks
R
badass
spinoff.
to me. That's the whole thing for me. Like it
It
just looks
doesn't
really
though. It's just
badass.
it's just him having PTSD flashbacks. We're gonna do the same thing that the show already did. Like, we already went through this in his TV series. His TV series was like
hmm
2 seasons of nothing but PTSD shit, and that's basically the whole season of the Punisher show. So like,
hmm
we're doing it again now, and they're gonna give us a rated R version because he's gonna be PG-13 for Spider-Man. So like, I don't
hmm
know, man. Like,
Well, they have to
it
end
doesn't
it.
sell
Well, they
me
say it's the
on it.
last kill, so we might have this might be the end of the PTS thing. He might find might find some peace finally. But I seen a
Is that
funny
the
thing of
Punisher
like,
though?
yeah, well, of course not. But I mean, he looks still like the Punisher in the trailer for Spider
Okay,
Man.
he looks
So
like the
I mean, I don't
Punisher,
think he
but
loses it like that. But
I don't know. It's just not for me. It's not a priority. Like, I could take it or leave it. I'll watch it when it comes out because we'll cover it on the show. But otherwise, like,
hmm
I'm not excited for it. I'm not like counting down. Like, right now, even Mandalorian and Grogu, like, I'm gonna watch it. Am I excited for it? Not really. Like, this Maul show, I'm fucking excited for. I cannot wait every Monday for these episodes to drop to keep watching this show.
hmm
And I don't feel that way with Daredevil. I don't feel that way with this Punisher version. It's just like, all right, I'm watching it. It's not bad, but it's not hooking me like I want it to. And I don't know what it is outside of like the things we discussed.
hmm
But yeah, I'm
I mean,
cool. I'm cool
well,
with
it's
the Punisher.
no, yeah, no. Two things. Like, it could be the fact that I like Maul is somebody who I mean is very interesting. Let's just say it like that. He's just even by the way he talks is really interesting. But like we
And
also
Frank's
don't
story's
know
really
all
not.
his yeah
And
we know
Frank's
all his
story's
stuff.
not. Somebody killed my whole family because I was an undercover cop and messed up and ruined another family's drug cartel. So they came and killed my family, and now I kill a bunch of people to justify that. That's Frank. Like,
But that's why what makes him more interesting was what you're right. But what's why they always have to pair him with somebody to make it more interesting because
yeah, and
it's
that's
just
the
because he's
problem
just
with
a
the
guy who
character.
just is berserk.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
and,
exactly right.
and like, none of the Avengers actually like him. That's the problem. Like,
hmm
in the comics, none of the Avengers get
hmm
along with him. Even Wolverine and Frank don't really get along. So like, it's,
hmm
I don't know. Like I said, I'll watch it when it comes out. We'll discuss it on the show. But am I excited for it? Am I hyped? No. It's just another Marvel project that they're putting out. Like, out of everything on the slate, like, I'm not even. We're gonna talk about CinemaCon and this Avengers trailer supposedly coming out on Wednesday. But even that,
Okay.
like, this trailer better knock my socks off and get me hyped for this movie, because if it doesn't, then like, again, I'm in the same boat as I am with Daredevil and all this other stuff where like, it's just all right, yeah, cool, whatever. And
hmm
I've heard from early reactions that this is Infinity War level when you see this movie, that all of this shit, all of these people who have already know the script because the script got out, and pretty much the whole plot line for the movie is out there. If you want to research it, you can literally scene by scene find out what happens in the movie. It's already out there. It's been out there. So
hmm
I don't know.
I
I
just
don't
real
know.
quick on Punisher, like this is actually kind of like a funnier thing about it, but like in the trailer, you know how he's like tweaking out and he sees like all like the different versions of him.
Mhm.
John Bernthal in an interview before it was said that like he doesn't take naps. So I thought to myself, in the trailer, the way he's acting, I think he really does need to take a nap because This guy's seeing himself and fucking tweaking out. Like, I think it's time you get some sleep, my guy.
Yeah, I just, we're going to beat the PTSD drum again for this whole entire thing. And then hopefully once it's all over, it's over and we don't have to deal with it anymore. That's kind of what I'm hoping. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Again, the Sony panel is going on right now at CinemaCon. They're probably showing off some
Mhm.
Spider-Man footage. Maybe I'll like him better in that atmosphere with having Peter to go off of because maybe it'll be a little bit more lighthearted. But yeah, otherwise, like the rest
Hey,
of this, I'm just watching it and giving my critiques.
just to say, like
Otherwise,
in general, though, Punisher has never. I don't know. Like people who like the Punisher are just like I'm gonna say something really fucked up, but people who like Punisher are just people that like like are into guns and just his badass attitude or
yeah,
whatever.
people
He's
who have
never
never
really been
actually read a
somebody.
comic book.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and
people who
that
drive
that
around,
and that.
people who drive around with his sticker and logo on their car and
Just,
truck and never read a book in
just
there. Yeah, yeah,
you
that's the
said it
Punisher
better
crowd.
than me.
That's what I'm saying though. Like
But
for me, that's like,
mhm,
and I still can't disassociate that from the character. It's like those types of
mm,
people make me sick. So like even
mm,
them, like
that's
I
true.
get what Disney's trying to do is they're trying to reclaim that and show like no, you would be the bad guys the Punisher is going after essentially. But I don't
Hmm.
know. For me, like I said, I watched the trailer and I just kind of was like, all right,
Hmm.
cool, another Marvel TV thing that they keep pushing out here. And maybe it'll be cool. Maybe I'll come back on this show and be like, hey, I really liked it. But so far for me, I like Bernthal as an actor. I like a lot of other things that he's in. His and hers, we just talked about that a couple of weeks ago with Tessa Thompson that he
Yeah.
was in. Like that was a phenomenal show. He had a great portrayal in that. But for Punisher, for me, I still love the Thomas Jane Punisher. Like I still think that one was more
Hmm.
accurate to Frank and the story and the humanity that you felt. And like I don't know. For me, I don't have that connection to this version of the character.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he just always pairs better to me with another character. Well, the moment I've seen him in animated Spider-Man was really like the first time I ever got to know who this character is,
Yeah.
and ever since then, every time I see him in any iteration, it was always with somebody else, and I was always just like, oh, that's the Punisher because he was with somebody else. When it's him solo, that's it. I didn't even watch all the fucking Punisher on Netflix to be honest, because it was just like why? I like there's Daredevil out at that time, Luke Cage, all that. You just don't
You
like
just
you're
proved my
not
point
super.
then.
Like
You
why do
just
I need
proved
to do anything?
you
Yeah,
just proved my
yeah.
point of like why I don't
Hmm.
care about it. Essentially.
But
Like
yeah,
it's just
but
is
that's
what it is.
but when he's paired with somebody, it makes it more interesting for me. So that's why I'm like, okay, they put this at the end of Daredevil. This has something to connect with that. Maybe we
And
don't
going to
know, but
Spider
if it
Man. Yeah.
does, yeah,
And
we're going to Spider Man.
and that's where we'll go with it all. Keeping on Marvel, we found out that the writers from Thunderbolts are going to be rewriting an X-Men script. Apparently, they're going back to the drawing board on the X-Men script because they're trying to nail it. So the Thunderbolts writers, along with the Thunderbolts director, are pairing back up together to do this X-Men movie. From everything I've heard, the plan is to do the OG5. It presents a little bit
Okay.
of a problem because the OG5, there's no diversity in the cast whatsoever. So maybe they make Bobby, race swap Bobby and to add some color
Mm-hmm.
to this team. Otherwise, it's five white people and that is your team. Maybe Professor X is race swapped. Magneto, from what I've heard, Sinister is the play for the villain. That's kind of where they want to go. They don't want to do Magneto right off the bat. They don't want to do anything
Mm-hmm.
else. The two names that I've heard rumored for casting is our boy Dunk, Peter Caffrey from Night of the Seven Kingdoms as Beast. That's the rumor that they're interested in him for the role of Hank McCoy, which I could see that, especially if he's going to be human Hank to start off, and they're not going to have him, be with the blue fur.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big dude. I could easily see him playing that. It'd be interesting a contrast because he plays like an idiot on Duncan Egg, and here he
Mm-hmm.
would have to play like a genius. So I would like to see that diversity from him, and if he does get the role. and
Hmm.
Odessa Zion is being eyed as Rogue. We did talk
That's
about
the
her
one.
being rumored for Wonder Woman. And so it would be interesting
Mhm.
to see Marvel come in and like swoop her off from Rogue. And from what I've
She
heard,
would be perfect for Rogue.
she would be good. Margaret Qualley
Hmm.
is still my pick for the character. Like I think she'd be absolutely perfect to play Rogue. But from what I've heard, they're gonna do like Rogue being a villain in the first movie because that's how Rogue gets introduced to the X Men. She's like a villain to start off. Um,
Hmm.
so if they are going that route, I feel like Odessa would probably be, a great choice. And her sister is the
Yeah.
one who's voicing Devin on Maul Shadowlord.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, you did say that last time. But she just looks the character. I mean, from in interviews and I've heard her talk and stuff, like her personality
She's cool.
seems
Yeah.
like a rogue. Yeah. So like that just is like a no-brainer to me. It would be awesome.
Yeah, I like I said, I'm interested to see how they diversify this cast because if that's the case, like yeah, they're just going with, the OG5, and I think they're going to catch a little flack on that, in my
Hmm.
opinion, if that's the way they're rolling out X-Men. Time will tell how this all develops. Who supposedly though we are going to get the official cast announcement at SDCC this year. So in June, that's the plan for the Marvel panel. They're going to be
Oh, copy. Hmm.
walking the cast out on stage and announcing X-Men in front of
Hmm.
the audience there. That's supposedly the rumor. I don't know if they're going to talk about it at CinemaCon at all, if they're going to hint at anything or tease anything, but there's always a possibility. But it seems San Diego
Hmm.
Comic Con is like really where they're shooting to do this for him.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I can't wait for San Diego Comic Con. That one is they missed, I think, last year, so them coming back. Well, no, they didn't miss last year. I think it was the year before that.
They've skipped a
Um,
couple now. They've skipped
mhm.
like I think probably
Because
the
last year
last
they
two
were
or
there for
three.
Fantastic Four, I think. Or no, that was when it came out. They did skip last year. Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They skipped last year because that's when the movie came out. It was the year before that they were there. But you're right, they did skip a couple, and to see them back with something like this is a good layup.
Yeah, I'm interested to see, what they end up doing. So Fandango did a list of the top 10 most anticipated movies. They pulled a bunch of users. They pulled 7,000 users of their website. Fandango deals with a lot of the tickets, and people that are subscribed to them, get their movie deals through that. But the notable thing off this list is that Mandalorian and Grogu did not make it. So, out of the top 10 summer movies, Mandalorian and Grogu is not even in the running for it, which I thought was very, very telling. Like we've been saying for the past couple weeks now, talking about like the promotion for this movie and how people are receiving it. That's not a good sign when nobody
Mhm.
knows it's coming or nobody really cares. The most anticipated movie was Toy Story, the new Toy Story movie. Mortal Kombat
Mhm.
made the list. The
Got
Odyssey
my tickets.
made the list. I had it in front of me, but I can't find it right now while we're on the show, of course, because that's always how it goes. But yeah, I was kind of surprised by a few of them. Insidious made the list, which I didn't even
I
know there was another
mean,
Insidious. Scary Movie made the list, which I don't give a shit about Scary Movie, but apparently people fucking can't wait for this next one.
yeah.
Which I don't know why. Like the first batch of them were fucking awful. They're some of the worst movies ever made, and like
They have
people
a
are
nostalgic, yeah, they have a
clamoring for
nostalgic
fucking
feeling though.
Scary Movie. Like, give me a fucking break. I saw that and I was like, all right, so that's a bad sign when Scary Movie is more anticipated than Mandalorian and Grogu. Like, fuck me. Where have we come, Star Wars? Have we fallen this far? So we talked about it a couple times on the show. CinemaCon is currently going on Monday through Wednesday this week that we're recording. Tonight is the Sony panel, so as we said, we expect some Spider-Man footage to leak out. Zelda is something else Sony has in the panel, which I'm excited to see. Live action Zelda that they've been working on now for the past couple years.
Hmm. Yeah,
Um,
I'm excited to see that as well. Not the biggest Zelda fan, but I mean I've played Breath of the Wild and some other the other games, so Nintendo has been on a run right now with their movies. Like we talk about, I just saw the Galaxy movie. It was okay, but the one before that was great. And they're just melt doing this whole melting pot of just bringing all the Nintendo properties together. They got the stuff in fucking Universal Studios, so to see a new property come out on the silver screen should be fun.
And we are supposedly going to get an Avengers Doomsday trailer dropped this week from CinemaCon. The rumor is that Disney. So, for those of you guys that don't know, CinemaCon is a convention that's not really open to the public. It's for movie theater owners and entertainment journalists and stuff like that cover just cinema. So, it's out in Las Vegas. It's basically all the studios have a big 2 hour presentation that they give, and it's not like necessarily fans of the movies. They're trying to basically sell the movie theater owners on, here's what we have coming. This is what you should be excited about. This is what you should be marketing because this is
Mhm.
what our slate looks like. Paramount is the one that basically only has like two movies to promote the entire thing because their slate of movies is like nothing. So Street Fighter and Sonic the Hedgehog, I think, are the two things for Paramount that they're going to be promoting. They do have one other movie, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. Disney slate is packed. Avengers Doomsday, Star Wars Mandalorian, and Grogu. The rumor is that we're going to get footage of Starfighter, so we're going to get our first look at Ryan Gosling's Star
Nice.
Wars movie. Apparently, that trailer will be released to the public if it does come out. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to
Hmm.
me. Out of all of the presenters and studios, Warner Brothers has the biggest slate. They have the most movies coming out over the course of the next year. Some of the top properties. I'm expecting to see some tidbits on Lord of the Rings and The Hunt for Gollum, and all this stuff that they have on their slate. So Mortal Kombat 2, or the cast is already there. They were showing
Hmm.
a promo today that they're all there at CinemaCon. So we're going to see a lot of celebrities, a lot of talking about movies, which is always great, and get to see a lot more of
Hmm.
these trailers. They do screeners for some of the panels. So I think tomorrow Godzilla -1 is going to be, or
Oof.
-0 is going to be airing
Yeah.
for the public there. And then an official trailer is going to drop tomorrow too as well for the public. So
Yeah,
we'll
I need
get
to
to
see
see
that.
that. There's also a new Godzilla and Kong movie coming out from WB, so we'll get the trailer for that as well. So just expect a ton of trailer news and movie news this week because we're gonna be inundated from all of these studios basically releasing their slate, and not everything's going to be out to the public. Some of the clips will be saved just for the audience that's there, but more than likely you'll see these same clips at Comic Con. You'll see these same clips at Disney's Comic Con that they do. So yeah, I would expect a lot over the next couple
What are
days.
you most hyped for out of any of those movies?
My most anticipated movie for this year is The Odyssey. That is the movie
Okay.
I cannot wait to see. I will be there opening night to see that movie. It is one of my favorite books, the Iliad as well. I'm interested to see how he's going to do this, Christopher Nolan, if he's going to roll them all into one movie or if he's going to split them up. Um, there's so many characters, so many actors and top stars in his
Right.
cast for this movie that like there's no
Hmm.
way it can't be good. And it'd be
Hmm.
fun. The one thing I would really love is if somehow, some way, he could get Brad Pitt back to play Achilles from Troy. Like I thought that would be a cool like little Easter egg for people if because Brad Pitt plays Achilles in the Troy movie that happened years
Hmm.
ago, and Achilles is a part of the story at some point in the Odyssey. So it would be cool to kind of like, hey, remember that Troy movie? Yeah, we
Hmm.
tied it in. Like that would be a fun
Hmm.
little thing. But yeah, that is my most anticipated movie of the year. I'm looking forward to Street Fighter, and I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to Mortal
Same.
Kombat 2. I like the first Mortal
Mhm.
Kombat movie. Street Fighter, I think, is going to be fun, even with the cast and some of the casting that they chose. Yeah, that's pretty much what I really want to see Starfighter. I hope that trailer comes out immediately because I
Mhm.
would like to kind of have a better idea of what this movie is. But from
Right.
everything we know, that seems to be the Star Wars movie that like Lucasfilm is really pushing. Like even this far out,
Hmm.
that like a year out, they're billing that over Mandalorian and Grogu, and like, hey, this is what we
Hmm.
got coming. You know what I mean? What about you? What's one of the movies that like you're most anticipated or seeing?
So for me, I really want to see what they've been doing with Into the Spider Verse stuff.
Yeah,
I'm hoping we get that trailer because it's just
it's
this
about
movie
time.
was supposed to be out. This movie was
2 years
supposed to
ago.
been out already.
Two
Yeah,
years ago.
so
Yeah.
like we need something. I've seen images before, and I've seen like demo sketch like videos of like a scene where he's as the Prowler and stuff like that. But I really just want a full edge trailer for this, and just get an idea and hopefully maybe a date. This is, if I'm crossing my fingers.
Well, I
Um,
think there is a date locked in for the official release, but I don't think it's. I want to say it's not till 2027
that wouldn't I would not be surprised.
because this movie has been pushed back twice. They basically
Mhm,
redid this whole final movie from scratch because I
mhm,
think they already had it pretty much done, and then there was a work issue with like some of the VFX and people behind the scenes, and then they ended
yeah.
up going back and like reworking this whole movie based off like other
Hmm.
things. So I'm not sure
Hmm.
if
It was this whole studio thing.
yeah, and I know, this is a Sony thing. This isn't a Marvel thing. So they're working on this on their own, but Sony is currently undergoing like a rebrand of their Spider Universe where they want to keep making movies for it because they have to in order to keep holding on to the license. So
Hmm.
I'm interested to see during this Sony panel if they talk about that and what their plans are. I would love for them to just use Andrew Garfield and have him be your Spider-Man for the Sony Spider-Verse and just move forward that way. And then if you want to
Hmm.
introduce Miles Morales at some point, you do that and have Andrew Garfield pass it off to Miles. I think that would be
Hmm.
the right way to do it for Sony if you want it to be successful. But yeah, I don't see a scenario where like Tom Holland's going to be popping up in both universes and going back
Hmm.
and forth. To me, that's just a waste of time.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. And then also, I'm really hyped to see minus zero because
Yeah, the
Godzilla
Godzilla. Yeah.
minus one was what was a sleeper for me, to be honest, because I wasn't even really into it, and I was like, you know what, I'll buy a ticket to this and I'll go see it. And what really makes that movie is really watching it in the movie theaters because if you was never around to see the old school Godzilla in black and white and what that phenomenon was for those people back in those days, I think this really reenacted that on another level.
I
And
watched this
just to
at home
see,
and I liked it.
yeah,
Like it was one of my movies of the year that year.
hmm,
And I
yeah, it's
liked
really
the
good.
MonsterVerse. I did get caught up on Monarch, by the way. I watched that the last couple of days, and like I'm all caught up on Monarch now. And yeah, I wish they would stop going to the future. Just stay in the past and keep me with Wyatt Russell and
Uh,
the girl.
yeah,
Rather
that's
than
fun.
every time they jump to the future on that show, I'm like,
Hmm.
fuck me. Like, just come on,
Hmm.
can we get back to the
Hmm.
past stuff?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I am excited about the MonsterVerse. I do. I know Godzilla minus zero is not part of the MonsterVerse, but it is just cool to have multiple
Hmm.
Godzilla and MonsterVerse properties, going around at one time. So a lot of fun.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Quick hits for this week. James Gunn got a little bit of heat and was calling out some reporters about a leak about him casting for Maxima. Now, on this casting list was Jason Momoa's girlfriend, Bix from Andor, um, and she's been one of the people rumored to play Diana, Wonder Woman. That's who James Gunn was originally eyeing for Diana. Another one of the actresses on the list also was in the running for Diana. So I'm wondering if like this whole Maxima casting thing, because like in all honesty, who really gives a fuck who plays Maxima if she's gonna be in this movie? Like, does it really
Hmm.
matter who the fuck is playing her? I don't
Hmm.
think so. So I'm wondering if like during this process he's looking at casting his Wonder Woman and that's why he kind of bit back at some of the reporting on this whole entire thing. But
Hmm.
yeah, I'm interested to see what happens because I kind of would like to see Adriana take the Wonder Woman role. I don't think she'd be bad at it, but
I would love to see a Puerto Rican Wonder Woman. Yes.
I just she's not tall though, and that I think that's my
Hmm.
problem. Like she's very fit, but she's not like a tall woman. So I don't know. Like I don't, and like her as Maxima even like
But
again.
did they describe Wonder Woman as being tall like that? I
Well,
mean, I
like
know she's like a goddess, right?
she's an
But
Amazon.
mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
mm-hmm,
supposed to be tall. She's
mm-hmm,
taller than Bruce in the comics most of the time.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like, so I don't
Yeah,
know.
I see what you mean.
I I kind of just
But
have a
for
feeling that like you got to put the pedal to the metal with this DCU at this point. Like you need to cast
mm,
Wonder Woman and you need to cast
you
Batman and you
guys,
need to start
Batman, I don't believe we don't
rolling.
even have Batman right now. That shit blows my mind.
And the fact for me, like I'll beat this drum till to death. Like doing the Batman 2 was a stupid move. Like I don't know why you're going back to Robert Pattinson to do Batman 2. I understand the success of Penguin. You want to squeeze out a season 2 of Penguin, but
Mm-hmm,
to me, you should have rolled Penguin into the DCU and just got a new Batman and called it a fucking day. Because this whole going to Robert Pattinson, what, 8 years later or 7 years later after the fucking first one came out, like we're a long way removed from that movie, and now we're gonna come back to Robert Pattinson. People are gonna see this and think he's Batman that's gonna go with your Superman, and then you're gonna be like, oh no, we have a whole nother Batman. And it just, for casual people,
that
I think you're gonna
mm-hmm,
fucking lose people right off the bat. And like we
mm-hmm,
talked about it last week with the Supergirl trailer, like
mm-hmm,
you you're not doing yourself any favors. And for me, I would personally, I love James Gunn. I think he does fantastic work. But for me, I think you need to stop putting yourself in the front of everything. I think you need to take a step back.
mm-hmm,
Let people speculate all the fuck they want. What does it matter to you at this point? Like, go make the
mm-hmm.
movie. Go make a good fucking movie. You made a great Superman movie. Go make a better second one and start introducing some characters and start bringing in the heavy hitters. Because the longer you draw this out, the longer, with the Paramount merger incoming, no one knows if you're staying or not. No one knows if this whole thing is going to implode before it even takes off. And I think all of these factors are starting to make people the same way they felt about Snyder's universe. You know what I mean? Like, I
Mm-hmm.
can only see James Gunn so much putting himself front and center for all of these DCU projects, even like ones he has nothing to do with. Like Supergirl, he
Mm-hmm.
he didn't direct, he didn't write it, but
Mm-hmm.
all I see is him talking about the movie. I don't see the director of the movie. I
Right.
don't see Millie
Mm-hmm.
Alcock out here talking about. You know what I mean? Like, and
Mm-hmm.
for me, it's just like, all right, Kevin Feige's not doing that shit. He lets the staff that's part of the movie talk about the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know.
Well, you see, he sees the what the success it took from what was Superman, so he's just trying to re copy and paste a situation onto this, which I guess I get, but it's like you're not making it any better with this one. Like if you're not a part of this, then you should let the people that are a part of it shine. Um, the thing about the Batman stuff though, like I feel like they should have just rolled him into DCU. I don't know why that was never a thing. I mean, I know that he's a part of his own universe
I
or
would prefer
whatever,
a
but
different
like
Batman. I don't want Pattinson as the Batman for DCU. Like,
I
it
only
just
say it
doesn't.
works because they both are two young actors, and it would kind of
Yeah.
fit that way as far as like this for a
Un
movie.
Unpopular
Um,
opinion. I don't really like that Batman movie. I don't.
I know. Uh, I mean, it was good.
It's
I
okay.
liked
It's
it.
it's not it's
Yeah,
not
I liked
great.
it,
It's
but I
not
wanted
it's not the
more.
best
But I
Batman
haven't
movie.
had
It's
more
not.
for forever. So.
It's cool that Reeves did his thing on it and weaved this whole thing and put this whole, like, his stamp on Batman, and like the way he portrayed it, the way he did it, cool. But like, I didn't. I wasn't clamoring for a second one. I wasn't clamoring for any more of this. Like, you should have just cast this aside, introduce your DCU Batman, and get us rolling on this. Like, it's been too long already. Like, Batman and Superman should have been the front and center of this, and Wonder Woman again. Like, I get you don't want to repeat the same beats as Zack Snyder, but like, the Peacemaker finale didn't go over well. You still have that whole storyline that's hanging out there. Will that get resolved in Man of Tomorrow? We don't know. We know Aaron Pierre Paul is gonna be coming in to play John Stewart, and he's gonna be part of the
Mhm.
cast for the movie. It's time. Roll out a Wonder Woman, roll out a Batman, and roll out a Flash. Like, let's get the Justice League together and let's get rolling.
Hopefully,
It's
we see
just
something for SC for San Diego Comic Con. That would be nice.
I honestly think the only thing they're going to be promoting is Supergirl because that's all they have. They have that and Clayface. There's a possibility we could get some trailer footage for Clayface that comes out from CinemaCon or from Comic Con, but it's written by Mike Flanagan, which is phenomenal. It's going to be shot and done like a horror movie, but again, is Clayface like your big lead of the universe? Is he bringing things together? Probably not. It's a cool like one-off to do, but I don't know, man. I'm still very skeptical about this whole thing. I'm still very skeptical about the fact that like this is even going to continue past next year. Like, Man of Tomorrow could be his last movie for DC, and then that could be it.
Right.
And like now
Right.
we're back to square one all over again with a whole new owner. So I still am very skeptical about all that going forward.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to see where we go with this and what happens. I've always I only the one thing I'll say about the Reeve stuff is that I think he did a great job just depicting Gotham because
Yeah, that was
just
cool. That's what I'm saying. Like,
cinematically it was great.
yeah, him putting his touch on things was cool. It's just like,
Hmm.
is that a Batman movie I go back and rewatch? No, I don't do not. I just all
Well, I
right,
mean,
cool. I watched
when
it
you
once.
got fucking this guy, oh
Bam.
my god, we just said his name. We got Nolan, Christopher Nolan doing the
Yeah.
doing a Batman movie, and you compare it to a Matt Reeves movie.
But
It's
even
like
like I'd
that's a,
watch I'd
it's like
watch
night and day.
I'd watch those. I watch the animated series. I'll go back and watch the old Michael Keaton, the Val Kilmer. Like I'll go back and watch those before I go watch that Matt Reeves Batman again. Like, and I
Hmm.
could maybe count on one hand how many times I've watched that movie. And it's just like, all right, cool. I saw it. It's the same thing with the Ben Affleck Batman versus Superman. I watched it once and I'll never watch it again. Like I have no need to. It just is what it is. Like I saw Ben Affleck's portrayal of Batman and I'm good. And I saw Robert Pattinson's
Hmm.
portrayal of Batman and I'm good. If they were to me, the more money thing at the time would have been to tie in Joaquin Phoenix's Joker into Robert Pattinson because the story was
Yeah.
already set up in Joker, like of him potentially
Hmm.
being Bruce's half brother. And okay, if that's your new approach, you wanted to go with the Batman universe, I would have been here for that. But then you introduce
Hmm.
Barry Keoghan or Kogan as like this fucked up version of Joker who like I have no interest in seeing. Um
Hmm.
I'm just yeah, like cool. Sebastian Stan and Scarlett Johansson are part of this cast. It's probably going to be a cool story, but like is this the Batman I want to see going forward? Absolutely not. I want to see actual Batman. I want to see somebody who we know is going to play the role for the next
Yeah,
10 years and
that's what I was gonna
and
say.
and that's that. Like and actually
Hmm.
do legitimate Batman stories. Like don't just mix mash random shit that you like and you don't like and like create your own like patchwork Batman. I'd rather go do the Damien story. Go show the Robins are already established, like shit like that. I don't
Hmm.
know. We do know that Andy
Hey.
Andy Serkis is confirmed to return as Alfred. I don't think that was a surprise, but he is coming back
Hmm.
and going to do that before Lord of the Rings or during Lord of the Rings. I'm still not sure how that's going to work because I still don't even
So we
think the
got another
Batman 2
Pedro
started
situation.
started fucking shooting yet. And this movie, like again, another movie that's been delayed after delay after delay. That like I don't think we're supposed to get the Batman until what 27, the end of 27. So
No,
yeah,
that shit did piss. That was something that was disappointing to me. Of like when people would talk about it, he's like, "I'm not done writing it." Like,
yeah, it took him
dude,
forever
we
to write
gave
the
you,
script.
we gave you how long to write this movie? Like, get you
And
forgot about it
and
yourself.
I
Don't lie, you forgot about the movie.
I don't think it was that though. I think it was the fact of the uncertainty of like they thought Robert Pattinson was one and done, and they were
Hmm.
gonna move forward. And James Gunn even announced like, "Hey, we're moving forward with our own Brave and the Bold Batman," and then plans changed because Penguin did so well. That's the only
Hmm.
reason we're getting this second Pattinson movie is
Yeah, that's
because they
true.
want to shoot
Hmm.
season 2 of Penguin. That's it.
Hmm.
Penguin did unexpected. They dropped that whole thing not thinking anybody was going to give a shit. And then Colin Farrell and the other lady from How I Met Your Mother, Kristen, whatever, delivered two top tier performances that like everyone was hooked. And like,
Hmm.
I still think the better option would have been to take that, pair that with the new DCU and put them in whatever thing you're going to do with Batman and go from there. Not do another Pattinson movie. But speaking about Batman, the Absolute Robins
Yes.
were revealed for Scott Snyder for the new Absolute Universe. From what I've heard is that the Robins are Joker's henchmen, but the Robins are different this time because a bunch of them are in mech suits, so they're basically giant mech suits, and Jason seems to be the leader of the team, carrying a gun and marching front and center in the panel. So as much as I love Jason, I'm not a fan of like a storyline that involves him being raised by Joker, if that's where we're going with this. I, 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 so as much as I like Absolute Batman, I feel like some of these designs and some of the stuff that they're doing in this book, like I think because it is an Elseworlds thing, it's fine to like read and enjoy and not care about what they're doing because
Yeah.
they're creating their own thing and like this is a
Hmm.
separate thing than the regular. But if this was like a regular Batman book and they were doing some of the crazy shit that they're doing in this, I would probably be like, what the fuck is going on in this book? Because I find myself
Yeah.
asking that sometimes reading the Absolute book of like, what the fuck is this design? Like, holy shit! Like, what are we even looking at? Like, and it's part of that's Dragata's art style. Like, I like the book. Don't get me wrong. It's just,
Uh-huh.
yeah, some of the shit's just so over the top that like I have to wrap my head around it because I'm so used to like Batman being like this, and they're
Hmm.
doing something totally different. So like, do I
Hmm.
like the idea of like the Robins being mech suits? Not really. Um,
Hmm.
but I'll read it and see like how what he's got planned for it. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like they have to do something that will compete against what Batman's like the absolute Batman's like obstruction is, especially with him being, such a 6 foot tall man, like
Mhm.
all like somewhat has super strength. Like you gotta if you're a Robin, you gotta match that up with him. So like
But they're not
I
even going
can
to be
understand.
like aligned with him. They're going to be
I
against him.
I know against, and
Yeah.
then there's that factor. So yeah, it's these absolute Batmans I think are supposed to go against the grain in every sense of
Yeah.
it. So like I'm cool with it. I want to see their take on it, especially now you say Jason is being raised by Joker.
That's what it seems like because it seems like these are
That's
like Jokers. These are
mm,
because like in the book we've been seeing. So he put together Harley and her street crew of the clowns, and basically they're going to be Joke Batman's henchmen is Harley's gang. Um, he's lining up with Gordon and the police and working with Barbara and like assembling his little squad that he's like starting to assemble. Um, he helped Waylon. We saw at the end of the a couple issues ago, Waylon did take the serum and he is like returned back to his human form. He's just jacked now.
hmm
Um, so I'm interested. I'm guessing like this is all ramping up to take on Joker at some point because that's basically what even the Court of Owls, his mom like was taken out by
yeah.
Joker. Like the
Hmm.
court was basically disassembled by Joker. So you have all these organizations coming to Batman's aid to basically take on Joker, who's this big giant beast and can transform back and forth and rules basically everything. He's the richest man in the world. So having this a different viewpoint of like the Robins being raised by Joker is different. It's crazy. Especially seeing them in the mech suits. It's just like holy shit. Okay, this is where we're going with it. Like strap in because it's probably going to be a wild ride.
and and the stuff that we've seen of the lakes of Deathstroke and the Penguin too. Those
Well,
that
yeah,
looks really
I
interesting.
think Deathstroke debuts in this next issue, and then we have Absolute Scarecrow coming in too. And he looks crazy. He looks like Dwight Schrute from The Office, like with his mouth sewn shut.
Oh
So
shoot, I
pretty
haven't seen
crazy.
that movie.
Yeah. So yeah, it should be interesting. There is another favorite book of mine growing up was Lord of the Flies. They did show that they're doing a live action Netflix version of Lord of the Flies, and the trailer looks fucking awesome. So Lord of the
Hmm.
Flies is like a prep school plane that crashes on an island, and basically you watch as these kids, um, the dissection of society and human thought process basically is dissected throughout the Lord of the Flies, and you watch how like this tribal mentality can overtake you when you're in a scenario where like there's no more rules. And I think that's like the most beautiful thing about Lord of the Flies. It's what I've always enjoyed about it. So to get to see this live action version, I'm very excited. I want to say there was like a live action movie that they did years ago that's like just like the Outsiders movie that they did years ago, but this one looks a lot more legit. Like the kids are, they cast like fit the roles pretty well, and yeah, it looks pretty badass. So I'm really excited about that.
No, I gotta
Have,
check that out. That looks sounds good.
yeah, it should be really cool. I think it debuts next month or at the end of this month. I was trying to find the trailer to send it to you, but I could not
Hmm.
find it again once I watched it. So I was like, oh, I didn't save it.
So good. I'll find it.
Some quick toy news is so a year and a half ago, probably at Comic Con, Hasbro had shown off the Tron Ares stuff that they had planned, and they had planned on a 6-inch line of figures that were coming out, and they've been kind of in limbo. Nobody knew whether they were coming out, what was happening with them, and it was revealed this past week that basically because of the low interest in the HasLab that they did last year, these Tron Ares figures are being, or these Tron figures are being packaged as a 4-pack for $140. So four figures for $140, and that's the only way you can buy it. If you want the light cycle, it's $100 with a figure. So they really
What?
jacked up the price on these and kind of like held them back rather than making it a way for people to buy. And I kind of feel like they really did a disservice by doing it this
Oh
way,
yeah.
because there are people who are interested in like the Jeff Bridges figure. Like everybody loves, the dude. So like just some people might just want to pick him up. Some people just might want to
Yeah.
pick the kid up from Tron Legacy, and like now you either have to buy the whole set of all four of them in one shot, or you don't get them at all. So I thought it was an interesting move. Um,
That's crazy.
yeah, and it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way who like really were interested in the Tron stuff. I'm not a
Hmm.
Tron guy. I've never watched the movie, so I'm not familiar with like the concept of it. I'm familiar with the
Hmm.
concept, I should say, but I've never watched them. People tell me all the
Hmm.
time to watch them, but it just doesn't seem like something I'd be remotely interested in. So I
Hmm.
just I've avoided
I
it
only
altogether.
I did watch this last one, Aries, and I did watch Legacy. Legacy is my real introduction to Tron.
Okay.
But Aries was Aries was more decent than what the reviews and what people were saying about it was in the beginning.
Mhm.
But it was definitely worth watching it streaming. Then if I would have paid, I probably would have had a different opinion. But seeing it streamed was the way to go.
Yeah, I've never watched them. I've been told to watch like all three of them, and like I know the premise and like what they're about. I just not really my thing. I did the ride in Disney, and that was enough
I
for
was about to say they have that out there. I haven't
me.
got to it, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So, what do you got for comics of the week this week?
So it was a light week. So I ended up actually going back and like re-upping on some stuff that I missed from the previous week. So that was with Batman and Static. I think that was issue number 4. Got that one back, and then I also I know you hate this movie, but I fucking had to get it because I just love to know lore and things of that nature. But a while back, they had came with like a Fantastic Four, like of the MCU, like
Yeah, the first
one-off
steps.
comic. Yeah, First Steps
Yeah.
comic. Um, and I read it, and as I'm looking through it, I'm noticing they're showing the events of when they land back from space. I'm like, oh damn. I don't know. I want to know what's this because this is canon. So I picked that up. Um, and then I had some turtle stuff that I had picked up too, and that was pretty much everything. Oh, and then I think that was when we had the mall. So yeah, I had Darth Maul issue 2 at that.
Yeah, we talked about it on the breakdown of Maul Shadow Lord, but here's issue 2. It really fleshes out the Lawson's backstory a little bit more. It also shows you more into Demas and Vario and them, being on the planet. So, it's kind of stalling. It's just a lot of back information, pretty much. There's not much to this book, but it does kind of fill you in on some of the goings on Janix and gives you a little bit more about Lawson's character. Uncanny X-Men, it was a little bit of a bait and switch with this. So the solicits kind of showed Cannonball on the front here. It looks like Cannonball and the New Mutants gear on the front here. Um, I thought the possibility might be Doug, based on like what happened at the end of Age of Revelation and what had happened in the other X-Men book, that maybe Doug was going to come to this team of X-Men and try to talk to them instead of Scott. But instead, what they did was they made the Outliers the new mutants. So they debut in the classic costumes here. I don't know if this is going to be like a canon thing and they're going to be the New Mutant team going forward, or if this is just part of the story. But that was like the takeaway from this issue. I've talked about it numerous times with the X books. They did just announce a new crossover with Fantastic Four and X-Men, and I'm tempted to drop the X-Men books before that crossover even starts. Like, I have zero interest in that crossover. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's just more stuff with this mutant virus thing, and we're
I
just
did
pro
see the new. Oh, go ahead.
we're just prolonging the inevitable of the X-Men getting rebooted again in time for the MCU movie to come out. So
Right.
just kind of hold
Well,
your breath on the X-Men line. That's basically what they're doing with it.
I did see that they have the new Mutants comic that just came out, and I mean, by the cover, it looked interesting. Like I said, I after the Revelation stuff, I
There's
personally adopted them, but that new Mutant stuff seemed a little bit interesting. I
are
was
you
thinking
talking
about picking
about
it up.
Laura Kinney and her book? Because there's not a New Mutants book going on currently. It's just
Uh,
Laura's book,
I might be then, because it
Generation
just said
X or
it.
whatever.
Yeah, it just said New Mutants, and it was a bunch of different characters that I never seen before. But the art was what really caught me.
It might have just been a variant cover for this then, because this is the only
Okay.
New Mutants lineup that we've gotten in years. Danny's book has like the New Mutants in it, but it's not really like, I don't count any of those solo books because they're just in their own fucking thing, and this new crossover kind of leads me to believe like that's all they're doing. They're just gonna keep prolonging it.
It says it's
I
like it
go
says
ahead.
it's the Xavier School for Gifted Youngsters, New Mutants, and then on the front they have like this dude with like a black mask on and
Yeah, so
a
that's
girl who
this
looks like a
book.
cat.
It's
Okay, cool.
literally this book.
Okay,
Yeah, it's the
okay,
same shot of that I just showed you. This
okay.
exact shot right
Hmm.
here.
Yeah, that's the one. Okay,
Yeah, it's
it's
this
a
book.
little blurry right now, but yeah, okay.
And then my last one was Green Lanterns. I picked up Corpse. I'm not really reading Corpse. I dip in and out of this book depending on like what's going on or what I hear is going on. But Atrocitus popped up, and I always love seeing the Red Lantern, so I picked this up. And it was decent.
How was that? I was
Weird,
looking for it.
weird stuff going on with Guy Gardner. And as we left off with Green Lantern, Kyle is now the Green Lantern of Earth. Hal is off doing a different type of mission. So I really stay with like the main Green Lantern book. I don't really dip into Corpse too much, like I said, unless I know something is happening or there's some cameos. And I always am here for the Red Lanterns and Atrocitus. So yeah, it was cool.
Hmm. Dope, dope. I really can't. I want to get into that, but we'll see if I can if they have it on Wednesday.
So do you have anything that you're watching this week?
So obviously there's the main things that we've been talking about this whole podcast.
Hmm.
And then besides that, I'm finishing. I just finished Shrinking, which has been really a good ride. Like I said last time, this show is like I don't know. I think I at least relate to it every episode, or I laugh and I cry every episode. If it's just an overall really great show. I would advise everybody to watch it.
Yeah, I got
But
it on
then
my
other than
list.
that,
I got to
yeah,
start it,
yeah,
but
it's good. It's good. It's good. It's lighthearted. I think freaking Harrison Ford is he gets to be himself. Like we know him from some of these many, like being Indiana Jones, Han Solo. Like this is the first time I ever see him just be like Harrison Ford. Like it's and it's great. It's just great. Um, And then other than that, I mean, I have a lot of catching up to do. I haven't caught up to DTF. I mean, yeah, DTF. I haven't caught up on Rooster.
This week was the
Um,
finale of DTF.
okay, cool. So now, perfect. Now I can binge.
Yeah. They they so we find out who was responsible for what happened to Floyd.
Yeah, okay. Hmm.
It let's just say it was not a suspect that was suspected up until the finale.
Mm.
So
So would you was it a good was that like surprising or how did you feel about that?
um I think I have to rewatch it again because there were bits that like I was tuning out and I watched it like late last night. So
Yeah,
um I think I need to like rewatch the episode just to kind of see how I feel about the overall series. I
yeah,
did like the overall series. It got
yeah.
weirder and weirder as the show went on.
That that's how I felt when I
But
got to the episode two.
overall it wasn't horrible. The ending was like oh shit, okay.
Hmm.
So I didn't see that coming. I didn't expect that at all. So
Okay.
it was decent. Rooster, I have to watch the latest episode. I didn't get a chance to watch the new episode. I did, like I said earlier, I did get caught up on Monarch.
Yeah,
I'm
I have to
liking
catch up on that.
I like all of the past stuff. Everything with
Hmm.
Wyatt Russell, everything with the actress playing the mother or the grandmother,
Yeah. Hmm.
and John Goodman's character Young. I love all of
Yeah.
that stuff. I love seeing the origins of Monarch. I like seeing whatever kind of shit they get into while they're on these
Hmm.
missions, like investigating stuff. But every time the show jumps to the future cast, I immediately am like, oh fuck, like here we go again.
Hmm.
Like we got to listen to
The
her
little
whine,
girl makes that show so annoying.
and
Like
like she's
I,
such a phenomenal actress. That's the problem for
yeah.
me. Is like she's a phenomenal actress. She just killed it in Shogun. Like, and she's gonna play Yoko Ono in the Beatles movie. Like she's a phenomenal actress, but for whatever reason, whatever, like I don't like any of the current day cast. Like I don't like one single character. Her brother,
Mhm.
her, the girlfriend, not a girlfriend, hacker girl, like any of that
Yeah.
shit. I like the
Yeah.
Apex stuff because they're cluing us into what eventually happens in the second Godzilla movie, where like Apex
Hmm.
develops the cybernetics and creates this artificial Titan. So like we're seeing like the groundwork for all of that. But man, that every time they jump to the future, I'm just like, fuck me. Like I'd rather stay back in the past and just continue to flush those stories out.
Yeah, I feel like
Um,
that's the sentiments with most people when I hear about their regards about the show. They almost everybody says the same thing.
And then the other thing that I did watch was the new Chris Pratt movie that's on Amazon. The one with him and the lady who plays Paul's mom on Dune. Mercy, it's called. It's the artificial intelligence like judge
Oh
movie.
yeah, that was in the it was in the movies.
Yeah,
I heard.
it was decent. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be like a rip off of Minority Report, but it ended up actually being okay. I'm not the biggest fan of Chris Pratt. Um,
Yeah,
so, but yeah, it was okay. It was an okay movie. I think I gave it like a star and a half on Letterbox, but
I think I think on the Joe Budden podcast he talked about that once and when he went to see it and he just said it was just like what you said. It felt like a minority, and when he's seen like all the shit that he was getting into, he said, "Oh, they're on bullshit," and he just left. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, it
I
was
didn't hear the aggressive views for it, but I mean, he said it was decent.
it was a good watch. Like if you have
Hmm.
nothing else to watch, throw it on and just
Yeah.
give it a watch. But yeah, it's not like a blockbuster must go see. Yeah. Otherwise,
That was one of the movies they were trying to promote for NYC Comic Con when I went this year,
they were
and
promoting it hard, and
mhm,
then it I don't think it did well at the box office, like for good
mhm,
reason, because the trailers all made it seem like a ripoff of Minority Report, but what it actually is like the justice system being corrupt, so they create this AI judge basically, and you have like an hour and a half or 2 hours to plead your case, and like they can scan people's phones, they can read emails, they can obtain evidence that like normal people couldn't obtain for their trial. And like you
Right.
basically, once the clock runs down, you get a guilty or innocent verdict and go on from there. And like the chair that they're in, like literally gives them the lethal injection right at the chair. So like
Oof.
it's a it ended up it seemed like it was an anti AI movie to start, but then it ends up becoming like a pro AI movie, and it was a very weird message. So like that's why I say like it wasn't great. It's worth a watch if you want something to watch, but like it wasn't the greatest movie overall.
Yeah, but we need movies like that to make the great movies great. So it just helps to the melt for the melting pot.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not the biggest Chris Pratt fan.
No,
He
same.
he just he doesn't
He's a
do it
little
for me.
cringy. Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
love Rebecca Ferguson though, so I think that's why I ended up watching it. Like I for whatever reason, I guess I'm somewhat attracted to her, even though she
For some reason.
yeah, because like I don't know. Even in Dune, like I found myself like, oh yeah, like I'm glued to her. And in this movie, it was
Mhm.
the same. Like she carried the movie for me, and she's the AI like judge. And it's just like, all right, I can watch her, and like I'm cool with that. But then every time Chris Pratt like would jump in and be like, go back to her. Like I'd rather watch the whole Judge movie without Chris Pratt, like and his
Yeah.
beliefs. But yeah, that'll do it for this episode of Talking Soups. Thank you guys so much for taking time to check it out. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Leave us a review on iTunes. Leave us a review on Spotify. It goes a long way in helping getting more people to see this show. And if you enjoy this show, please share it with your friends. Word of mouth is
Mhm.
is just as great. Like we said, we've been watching the audio podcast numbers climb every week, but we want to see that
Mhm.
same growth on the YouTube channel and the video too.
Mhm.
And please give us things you want us to talk about. Give us ideas for different things you want to hear on the show, and we can always implement it. If you enjoyed our breakdown of episode 1 and 2 of Maul, maybe there'll be more breakdowns like that where we just focus on one topic rather than spending 2 hours talking about a bunch of random stuff. Maybe we can
Mhm.
kind of subjugate it to be more specific to one topic if that's something you're interested in, but let us know so we're aware of it and we can adjust properly. But
Right.
thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace.